Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now, before we get into today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell as well, so you never miss out a video of ours. And today it's a little different. Rather than the transfer news update that I bring you on a Friday, as it's been rather quiet this week, we'll have a look at where each WSL team here in England needs to improve as the summer window gets underway. Now, I'm expecting these next 3-4 weeks or so to be rather quiet as teams are preparing to do scouting, obviously, because we have the Summer Euros coming up in July. So I'm expecting maybe 1 or 2 deals to be announced. But I think after the Euros has done, and as soon as teams start going out, then we'll hear it pick up. So let's have a look at where each team needs to strengthen this summer. So let's start off with Arsenal. Now, for me, Arsenal don't really need to do too much. They're obviously finished in second place, 1 point behind Chelsea after a really good season under Jonas Eidevall, his first season with the club. So for me, I think it's just about adding a bit more depth to their team. Obviously, they've got a few players out of contract as of the time of recording this summer, so if they can extend some of the key players as well. Obviously, they've managed to keep Viviana Miedema at the club, but if they can get Caitlin Ford to sign a new deal, Jen Beattie to sign a new deal, and 1 or 2 others, then I think they should be fine. But other than that, I think it's just like a sub-impact role player for those that are potentially leaving this summer is where Arsenal need to strengthen. Next up, we have Aston Villa, and for me, Carla Ward's side need to add goal scorers because they really struggled for goals last year. It was Emily Geinlich's first year at the Villa, but she really struggled to find the back of the net. So I think they want to make that step up and move themselves a bit further away from the relegation zone and hopefully finish in like a mid-table position. Then they need to find a goal scorer. And obviously, there's been rumours over the past couple of weeks. Anna Patton apparently close to joining back on loan for the season, and apparently Jill Scott could join them on a free transfer, obviously, as she has left Manchester City. So I think that could be a good signing. That gives them a bit of that WSL experience type players that they need. Next up, we have Brighton and Hove Albion. For me, 2 main areas are finding a replacement for Inessa Cargman, who is leaving, very, very vital midfield player under Hope Powell in a couple of years at Brighton, and finding a replacement for her is going to be hard, but I think it is something that Brighton can do. Danica Kirkdyke as well, ever present at the back, and yeah, I think finding a replacement for her is going to be hard. So they're the 2 main replacements. Otherwise, I think it's a fairly good squad to go on and push top 4, top 5 potentially. And another thing for them, I think, is try and keep Maya Letitia at the club for as long as possible. She's a very good young star coming up. Obviously, everyone knows what she what is able to do at Brighton, but I think there's going to be, in the next year or so, very much interest from top WSL teams and teams around Europe. So if they can keep Letitia, I think that'll be a very, very big bonus for Brighton. Next, we have Chelsea. Now, for me, Chelsea, obviously, as league champions, you don't really need to do much. Sam Kerr had a fantastic season. Jessie Fleming, Erin Cuthbert all had good seasons. So for me, it's literally just replace the outgoing players of Jonna Anderson, Drew Spence, and obviously Ji So-yeon. That is the only bit of business I'm looking at Chelsea to do going forward in this summer. Otherwise, I think they can pretty much expect the same starting 11 much of last season for this forthgoing season. We then look at Everton. There's been some rumours that Sandy McGeever could potentially leave the club this summer, with Manchester City being one of the clubs being linked with McGeever, obviously because of the goalkeeper departures there. So if McGeever does leave, then obviously they're going to need a replacement there at Everton. And then I think, again, another team that could do with a forward, helping to ease the pressure off an ageing Tony Duggan going forward. Other than that, I think this season. Obviously, they've got a new manager coming in, so it's going to be interesting to see what type of business Everton do in this summer. Then we have a look at Leicester City. For me, their big problem is, again, Esme de Graaf leaving, head back into the Netherlands. A replacement for her for Leicester is going to be very key as we look ahead to their second season. Obviously, just about surviving in the WSL season, obviously due to a poor Birmingham City side. So I think a replacement for Esme de Graaf is needed, and someone who scores goals is also needed, because obviously they lost Jess Sigsworth for a lot of last season due to injury, and she's obviously still going to miss a bit of this season. So a sort of replacement for her is something that they need to be looking at. Then we have a look at newly promoted Liverpool, and for me, a lot of good players in that squad. I think main thing for them is contract extensions, and then adding 2 or 3 players that have that WSL experience, whether it is coming up from the Championship or players that are going to be so-called free agents this summer. 2 or 3 of them, and Matt Beard's side should be good and hopeful that they can survive in the WSL next season. Then we have a look at Manchester City. Now, it seems to be a big exodus happening here at Manchester City this summer, with the likes of Lucy Bronze, Caroline Weir, Georgia Stanway, Karima Tayyib and Janine Becky all departing from the club in these last 5 or 6 months. Obviously, Becky heading back to America already, and the other lot departing this summer. So I think Gareth Taylor is expecting a busy summer in terms of incomings. The main thing for them is literally just replacing the players that are going out, because they do have a very, very good squad going forward. And I think the main thing as well for them is trying to avoid an injury crisis season like they had last year. But obviously that's not possible. You can't write that down to signings or anything. But I think that is a key factor for them. Then we have a look at Mark Skinner's Manchester United, and for me, they had a good season, obviously finishing just outside the Champions League places. But again, for them, it is adding that experience of goal-scoring goals, because obviously you've got Alessia Russo and Martha Thomas there, but they finished so far behind in terms of goal difference, behind the top 3. So if they are wanting to bridge that gap and get into a Champions League spot, then they are needing to find a goal scorer. And again, Manchester United are another team that have a lot of players reportedly out of contract this summer. Obviously, 2 big ones being Jackie Kroenen and Anna Badje. So if they can tie them 2 down to contracts, then I think that is going to be very key to Mark Skinner's side and having any sort of success going forward. Tottenham, I'm not too sure whether they really need to do much. I think Rhiannon Skinner's got a very good side on her hands. For me, it would just be contract extensions for those that are out of contract this summer, and potentially making Victoria Schneider-Baxloan from Arsenal a permanent one, because I think she did quite well there when she joined them in January. But apart from that, I think Tottenham are going to have a very good season again and could be pushing for that 3rd Champions League spot. Then we have a look at West Ham. Obviously, they're going to have Paul Konchesky as their manager this season. I'm not really expecting too many changes. I don't think they'll have a mass amount of players leaving, but for me it is just tying down players to longer contracts and trying to convert some of their loans they had into permanent deals. I think the main one being Lisa Evans, who is obviously on loan from Arsenal. She had such a good impact at West Ham when she joined, and I think if they can sign her permanently, then that is such a good deal for West Ham going forward. We have a look at Reading next under Kelly Chambers. For me, it is just shoring up that defence a bit, leaking in 40 goals this season. Only Everton, Leicester and Birmingham City conceded more goals than them this season. So if Kelly Chambers can reassure that defence and obviously get it looking a bit stronger, then they can look to push up to maybe 5th to 8th for them. And then obviously Emma Harry's being injured for a long time now with her injury that she sustained on England duty is going to be something that they need to address possibly in this summer. So I'm not expecting Reading to be particularly busy, but I'm expecting them to get a few deals done. Yeah, so that is all the teams that I'm expecting and where they need to strengthen this summer as we head into a very good summer window. And until next time, we'll be back next week, hopefully with a lot more rounded up transfer news and anything else that happens in the world of football. Until next time, make sure you like, comment and subscribe like I said at the start, and until next time, we'll see you soon.